It's November and it is still marching band season for many of you out there, particularly those at the college level. Today we are talking to the director of one of Pennsylvania's major college bands on today's PMEA's Take Note podcast. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of PMEA's Take Note podcast. I am Mark Despotakis, and today we are speaking with Dr. Brad Townsend. He is the director of bands at the University of Pittsburgh. Brad, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. Luckily, I got to see you a couple of weeks ago and actually see the band perform very up close and personal, which was awesome. And we're going to talk a little bit about the band and we're going to talk about you, but I just want to make one observation about being down there so close to the band on the sideline and watching you and the staff, in front of the band. What I noticed was your joy that you had. You've seen the show, you've been in front of this band so many times, but you still had this joy and this great expression on your face of enjoying being around the band. And I just wanted to point that out to you and point it out to the audience that you must love this gig.
Oh, I do. The students we get to work with are just a joy. And one of the best parts about doing the gig, we were at Penn Trafford High School band show. And for the most part, we do one halftime show and then we put it away and go on to something else. Well, we had the opportunity that evening to do a show a second time, and we had been able to rehearse it some more and make some improvements from about, 2-3 weeks previous when we had performed it at Acrisure. And so it was not only just enjoying the kids' success, but the fact that they knew and we all knew that, man, we did it better than the last time, which is what you always want to be doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. That's very cool. So we'll talk a little bit about the band here in a little bit, but let's talk about you. Tell us about you, your career background and kind of, maybe how you got into music, what inspired you and what brought you to Pitt. I know that's a real short, easy answer, right?
Sure. I'm actually a product of PMEA. I went to Somerset High School, and I had gotten into music at a very early age, actually through church music. So the churches that I had gone to, I was a military brat until about grade 6. And the churches all had really, really strong music programs, lots of singing and so forth. And that really got my interest. It was just a natural progression when we moved to Somerset, and in junior high school, I wanted to play in band. And I actually started on cornet and then pretty quickly got switched over to tuba. And I was involved in the choir and the orchestra, the jazz band, just any music opportunity that I had in high school, junior high school and high school, I took it. And it's funny, the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing today is early on, I knew I wanted to be a band director. I knew I wanted to be a high school band director. And long about in the, let's just say late 70s, my high school band, Somerset, appeared at Pitt Band Day.
Huh.
And that was the first time I had seen a college band up close. And man, I was hooked. I still remember that Pitt Band come running out of the tunnel onto the field. And I was like, that's it. That's what I got to do right there. I want to do a college band thing. And Pitt did not have, and still does not have, a music major program, music education. So I wasn't able to go to Pitt. I had some background through 4-H with Penn State, was very comfortable with Penn State. So I ended up at Penn State, and had just a, just tremendous experience there in the blue band. I got to sing as well, and got my music education degree, and started my first job at Iroquois High School, which is up in Erie. And fun fact, Dick Bundy, who's the retired band director at Penn State, had been the high school band director there, and he left to come to Penn State to get his doctorate. And so when they were looking for someone, he recommended me. And so I taught at Iroquois High School for 3 years, and it was great. It was junior, senior high school band, jazz band, marching band, concert band, musicals, and all that sort of thing. That I really, really enjoyed. And pretty quickly, I realized how much I didn't know coming out of undergrad, and kind of knowing that I wanted to do the college level. I went on to graduate school. I did my master's at the University of Illinois, which was a great experience. And then I came back to Penn State and did my doctorate there with Dick and with Ned Deal and Joanne Rakowski and others. And, got to write shows for the Blue Band and teach shows and, direct a concert band and pep band. You just got to do it all. I did teach high school for a little while longer in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. And then my first, kind of big university gig was at Temple University. I was director of athletic bands there and assistant professor of music education. So I got to direct the Diamond Band, had a concert band and teach music education majors, which was terrific. Another great mentor, Art Chodoroff, who's retired director of bands there, is a good friend and a good, just a great mentor. We worked together real closely. After that, then I had the opportunity to go to Oregon State, and it was completely my own program. I made all the decisions, I called all the shots and everything. And I was there and I was really, really happy. I mean, if you have a chance to go to Oregon, go, because it's just beautiful. And I got to I got to Oregon in a really great spot with the Oregon State bands that were ready for some growth and some change. And when we started, there was like 100 students in the band, and when I left, they were up to like 275 or so. And we were able to get instruments and uniforms, and start some traditions and restart some old traditions, and so forth. And I hadn't really thought too much about leaving there until the Pitt job came open, and I had been friends with Jack Anderson, who's my predecessor for a long time. My parents are still living in the Somerset area, so I thought, man, I need to take a look at this. Yeah. And the rest is history. I came and liked what I saw. They liked what they saw in me, and so I left Oregon and came back here to Pittsburgh, and have just been really enjoying being back in Pennsylvania and close to family and friends here, and getting the chance to work with the tremendous students and colleagues that I have at Pitt.
Yeah, what a fascinating career path you've gone through. You've done a lot of really awesome things, but I think one of the big lessons and takeaways there is that Pitt and Penn State can get along here. You are proof that it can
absolutely happen. yeah, absolutely. And I had some proving to do, because people were like, pretty suspicious. Yeah. Luckily, I came the same year. If you follow basketball at all, Susie McConnell's an Olympic gold medalist, and she's a Penn Stater. Yeah. And so, she and I came at the same time. So I could say, like, look, Susie's here. Look, you got another Penn Stater. And actually, fun fact, I'm not even the first Penn Stater to get to direct the Pitt Band. Ace Arthur was the band director at Pitt from like 1947 until about 1970. And his degree is from Penn State as well. So there's okay. We can get it wrong.
All right. Yeah, for sure. So, you talked about so many great things that you were able to do, but there's one nugget that you didn't mention that I want you to talk a little bit about, was that you were part of the 1984 Olympics All-American Marching Band. And the 1984 Olympics were iconic. I mean, every Olympics are iconic, but the 84 Olympics were so iconic in LA for so many reasons. I am just curious to hear about that experience from your perspective.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was life-changing. It was amazing. It was an amazing opportunity. The way that band was selected was applications were sent out to pretty much every university band in the country, and it was an application process. And Ned Deal was the band director at Penn State at the time, and I was one of 4 that had applied, that he nominated, and 2 of us were accepted. And my one friend who was accepted decided at the last minute, we were both seniors, we were both graduating. Oh, I need to go and I need to get a job. I just can't do this. And later he said to me, I made a big mistake. I should have done this. But I thought, I'm going to do this. And I was lucky enough that I actually had a job in hand even before I left. But basically what happened was, I was selected. I was the only, person from Penn State. I think there was a couple of people from Temple in that band. Unfortunately, nobody from Pitt in that band. So there was like about 3 of us, I think, that represented Pennsylvania. And, they sent us music ahead of time, and they flew us out there, and we rehearsed at Pepperdine University for 2 weeks. And if you know Pepperdine, it's in Malibu. And the practice field literally overlooked the ocean. And so we spent 2 weeks on that opening. You can still go to YouTube and find the opening ceremonies show. We spent 2 weeks there working on the that show, and did uniform fittings and all kinds of things like that. And just being part of the opening ceremony was just kind of amazing. The thing is that it was just a hit and run. We only did our portion. So they bussed us in. We were very, very close to the beginning of the show. And then we got back on the buses. And I remember very clearly, we got back to Malibu, and we were standing in the dorm lobby watching the TV, and we watched the torch get lit. It took that long, and just so many moving pieces. But we stayed out there then the 2 weeks of the games. They moved us to Loyola Marymount, and we played at some of the events. We played at, I remember field hockey, Olympic field hockey, and baseball. And, we did the Disneyland thing and SeaWorld and all that. And then we performed at the closing ceremony as well.
Wow.
And and they flew us home, and like the next day I was off to Erie, to start my job at Iroquois High School. But I mean, it's been amazing, the the friendships and the personal relationships I've made since then. I mean, people that I still keep in touch with, some people that influenced my career path, to be a part of all that. But it was a tremendous experience.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's actually, like, I'm so jealous, because that is like taking two of the coolest things in my life that I love to pay attention to, marching band in the Olympics, and putting it together. So I'm so jealous of your experience there. And iconic. I mean, just what a games to be at.
Right.
For so many reasons. That's awesome.
Yeah,
thanks for sharing that information. So let's talk about the Pitt Band. So there's probably some high school students out there who might watch this, or some high school band directors who might watch this. And so tell us about, what would someone experience? What's the draw to the Pitt Band? What maybe is the difference of the Pitt Band from elsewhere? And what's it like to become part of it? What's the audition process like? Take us through all of that.
Sure. One of the best things I think about being in the band is the relationships. It's a big university in a big city, and we have a lot of students coming from, smaller rural areas all across Pennsylvania, and actually all across the country anymore. And it's just a tremendous way to find a community, like, instantly. Everybody in the band, each section is really, really tight, really close. And one of the things we talk about with the students on the first day is, you've made a really good decision coming to Pitt, and you've made an even better decision, joining the band. And look around this room. These are people that you'll be in touch with the rest of your lives. Some of your best friends for the rest of your lives, the people that you will keep in touch with, from your college experience are right here. All the time that we spend together, band camp, rehearsals, games, and trips, and so forth. And I think that's true of most any college band. I know, my experience at Penn State, the people that I'm the closest with are the people from band that I'm still in touch with. And so it's a great way to make a big place a little bit smaller. And right away, you've got people that are that share your interests and share your backgrounds as well. It's a great way to learn about the university. There's always going to be people around that are in the same major that you're in that can give you advice. One of the great things about the band that makes it a little bit different than some other places I've been is Pitt doesn't have like a music education major or a large music school. Our department is rather small. I call it a service department. It's a department that is mostly for students that are not music majors. So in the Pitt Band, we have about 270 members, and I can think of about 3 music majors. There's engineers, there's pre-med majors, there's pre-law, you name it, they're all in the Pitt Band. And one of the great things about the feeling tone of the band is it's all people that want to be there, that just love playing and marching and performing and being together. And then so that's a little bit of a different feeling tone sometimes when you have music majors that are there for different reasons, or a little bit a little bit more serious, and so forth. And so it's just a tremendous, kind of feeling tone being a part of the band. And, we still do have high standards. We want to march well, we want to play well, we want to represent the university well. So, you're going to find a really great opportunity to perform. You're going to find some of your best friends. You're going to find people that are going to be able to help you along your learning, your journey, not just at Pitt, but, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and you say it, but I can attest to the reality of it. I've known so many students that have gone through the Pitt Band program, and everything you're saying comes true for sure for those students. It's an incredible experience for anyone to do it. And you're in the bonds you make there are bonds for life for sure.
Absolutely, and again, not just at Pitt. I mean, a couple weekends ago, I had the opportunity to go back to Temple for the first time in like 25 years, and it was their 100th anniversary. So that was kind of important. So I wanted to go to that on an off weekend, and it's the same kind of thing there. Those folks, those same kind of bonds, from when they were in the band, and kind of shared all of those experiences.
Yeah, and as Temple's preparing for performing here in a couple of weeks in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which certainly is something that even if you're not in the band right now, if you've had a connection to Temple, there's that excitement, I'm sure.
Exciting. Shout out to Matt Brunner. He does a tremendous job. He's a good friend, does a tremendous job up there.
Absolutely. So as you look back at your time at Pitt, any favorite experiences or moments that you personally have had with the band?
Yeah, I guess it's like a Groundhog's Day. It's the same every week, every home game. One of my best and favorite times is in our pregame show when the kids come running out of the tunnel. And again, that's the thing that hooked me back in the late 70s when they came running out of that tunnel in Pitt. But the excitement and the energy and the enthusiasm that the students have backstage, the show backstage is almost better than the show on the field. I mean, the kids getting hyped up. They've got little cheers and songs and dances they do and stuff like that. And when the video starts and, the Herald trumpets and all that, I mean, the kids are just, just beside themselves backstage. I'm kind of jealous because I'm stuck standing there on the ladder waiting for them and making sure that we're on time and getting the band started and stuff when they're supposed to be. But that for me never ever gets old. That kind of experience, that kind of fun, the joy that the students have there. I would also say that a big highlight for me was a couple of years back, we got to go to the Peach Bowl. It was one of those kind of big bowl games, and being in Atlanta and staying right downtown and playing Michigan State and playing in the Mercedes-Benz Bowl. Those kind of experiences, getting to do those things and sharing those with the students, is pretty terrific as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important for everyone to remember, and when you're in the moment, and you're obviously doing it, but for students for sure, the music brings you so many experiences that you would never be able to experience in any other situation that you can look back. Look at how many we've just talked about today. And there's so many that every student has that music can bring to you, and particularly, I'm a little biased here, but particularly a marching band can bring you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So Brad, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. I will encourage people to visit pittband.com to learn more about the program. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being with us on this edition of PMEA's Take Note podcast. We will see you next time.